Hello everyone, my name is Josh. I was a computer science teacher for about a decade, and now I run a tutoring business where I've worked with hundreds of students to help them get better at computer science related courses. And what I've been trying to do is think of different ways that I can help you all out. And this is what I'm going to try and do with these series of lessons, which is give you some programs which are going to improve your programming with minimal input so that they're going to be short and snappy, but give you loads and loads of concepts that you can learn and hopefully get loads and loads of marks on the exam. Let's have a little read of this question here then. So you're going to write a program for a hotel. It's going to take three inputs: whether the room is basic or premium, whether you're going to be staying in two single beds or a double, and how many nights you're going to stay, and then it's going to calculate the total price. And these are the conditions. So if it's a basic room and it's two singles, it's £50 per night. If it's basic and a double, it's £60 per night. If it's premium and it's either a single or a double, it's £80 per night. So calculate the output for the total of the person's stay. Now, half the battle, which is if your AQA it's paper one, everybody else it's paper two, working out how to actually take that and put it into a program, really hard. It only comes with a lot of practice. So we've got to look for trends that are happening in the question. So I'm thinking here already. I know that I'm the teacher, and I made this question, but I'm already thinking here. Like I'm seeing lots of things like if, like decisions. So keywords, which is going to help you with the programming theory marks, because in the programming paper you still get asked questions like what's selection, what's a variable, and you can get some marks in that. It's not all just write loads of programs. So what we can say here is I'm thinking if statements. It's also asking us to take in some inputs, and then it's asking us to output some stuff at the end. So let's have a little crack at this one. So let's get the inputs done. So keyword decomposition. Take the big problem, split into smaller problems. I've split this into three specific areas. So inputs, if statements, and output. Okay, so that's what I can see here. And then I guess maybe a fourth, which is like in the if statement, what are we actually doing? So that's the processing part. So let's get the inputs done first. So we're going to take in the type of room. So that's going to be input. Please enter whether the room is basic or premium. Now, I did this program before, and obviously my programming is great, but I couldn't spell premium, which that was the problem. So I just thought I was going to write it again because that was embarrassing. But this one is then going to be the number of beds. So we're going to do, and what we're going to do is please enter whether the room is going to have a double or two singles. And we'll just get the user to write in a 2 for two singles, just to keep it simple. Okay. And then finally, nights. Input. How many nights are you staying? If you want to sign up for free exam support, please click the link in the description, and remember to subscribe for more free content. Just wanted to add in a little description of this part because, again, I want you to be able to maximize the amount of marks that you can get, because it's not just all about can you program. It's like, do you actually understand the theory behind it? So let's talk about some of that. So we've got here variables. Definition for a variable that's going to get you full marks. It will be a 2-mark question. Describe what a variable is. A variable is a label which points to a location in memory. Whilst the program is running, it can change. So a label which points to a location in memory, type, beds, nights, that fills that criteria. Whilst the program is running, it can change. Variable, the literal meaning of variable means to something can change. We have variable speed limits. That means the speed limit can change, and you've got to keep an eye out because either you get a speeding ticket. So this is what we use in program to store data that's potentially going to change. A constant is something that is a label which points to a location in memory, but whilst the program is running, it cannot change. So we might set a constant to like a tax rate of like 0.2%, 0.2 as a decimal, because we might not necessarily want it to change whilst the program is running, and we only want to change it when the program isn't running. So that's the key distinction between a constant. Okay, so that's that there. So I just wanted to talk about that. Other keyword there is casting, right? How casting works is it's about changing. So variables can be one of 4, technically 5 data types: string, integer, float, boolean, char. A string is a collection of characters. A float is a decimal number. An integer is a whole number. A boolean is a true or false, and a char is a singular character. So a string actually is a string of characters. That's where it gets its name from. And what input does is it takes it in as a string, which means it doesn't behave as numbers. An integer, we're telling it we want you to change whatever we input in here into an integer, a whole number, and we want it to behave in the way that maths needs it to. So when we add them together, or times them in this case, we want it to obey the laws of maths. Either it's going to do something weird. So that's what that is. So casting is changing one data type into another, and in this case a string into an integer. So that's the first part. Conditional part now. So the first condition was if it's basic and we're staying in 2 singles. So we need to put the if and then the condition, which is if type is equal to basic, and so we're going to use and I'll talk about what that means in a second. Beds is equal to, and I'm just going to put double for this one. And then what we're going to do is work out the cost, which is cost is equal to the number of nights times 50. Now, in this case, let's talk about what that works. So if an if statement works whilst a condition is true. So if both of these conditions are true, because we've got an and, so if that is true and that is true, then we're going to activate that. Then what we're going to do is we need to do the next condition, which is elif type is equal to basic and beds is equal to 2. I'm just going to put 2 instead of that just to keep it simple, because 2 singles. Okay, that one, oh, I've done it the wrong way around, haven't I? So if beds is 2 singles, so sorry, I need to swap that round. 2 is going to be there, that's £50, and then this one here is double. So yeah, if it's double, it's going to be that one there. So again, you know, I just did a little thing there. Obviously, I'm trying to do it quickly. Keep checking back. That's a really important thing. Checking back that you're actually doing the correct thing, because obviously if I would have missed out on a mark there, wouldn't I, if I didn't notice my little error there. So that's a really, really important one. We're going to do cost is equal to nights times 60, because that's how much that would cost. Now, this one's the tricky one. Elif type is equal to premium. And we're going to use, make sure I actually spell premium correctly here, because I was struggling on the last time round. So premium, there we go. And what we're going to do here is and bracket, tricky one, missed out the double equals there, and what we're going to do is if beds is equal to 2 or beds is equal to double, it's the same price, isn't it? Little error there because I missed out that double equals. So again, always using like the little squiggly lines. I know you haven't got that in the exam, but when you're practicing, this is how you get better and better, because you're like, oh, I missed out a double equals there. So it's, you know, it's great stuff. Premium. Okay, let's talk about why I put that in brackets and I didn't I didn't just leave it without brackets, and why I've used or. So let's talk about that. It needs to be premium, and then it doesn't matter whether it's 2 or double. Is it either or? It doesn't matter. So the way that we do that is if I didn't have the brackets in there, it would only check those 2 conditions there, and it would leave that one out. So because it does it in order, you know, if you think it's a kind of like some strange version of BidMass where it's going to activate these 2 first without the brackets, but with the brackets, it's going to check and it's going to be like, okay, is it 2 or double? Yes. Is it premium? Yes. Are all of those conditions true? Yes. Well, then we need to do this. So that's how that one works. Then we do cost is equal to nights times 80. And And then let me put that up just so that you make sure that you can actually see it. And then we've got else. This is just if we've accidentally input something in incorrect entry. And then we just need to output everything, because that's the final thing that we've got to do. So I'm actually going to show you how to do a little bit more casting. So I'm going to do cost is equal to str string cost. Now because that's an integer, what I actually want to do is I want to change that into a string so that I can output it. You can put a comma, but I'll show you what I'm going to do, because that's it's going to work slightly differently. So let me show you how it works. So it goes print the total cost is, and I'm going to put a little pound sign because I think that looks nice, and then I put a plus, and I'm going to put cost there. Now the reason that I've done it this way and I've changed that into a string is because if I put a comma and I didn't change that to a string, there'll be a space in between it, and I think that'll look unneat. It's not absolutely necessary. It's just a little viewing preference. So what I've done is I've changed that to a string, and then what it means is that I can use the plus to concatenate it, join it together with that, and then that'll look nice and neat. So let's test it out and make sure it works correctly. So premium, as I said, I was struggling to spell premium the other day, so that was good. So let's go for 2 singles. And how many nights are we staying? Let's say 5 nights. And then you can see the total cost is £400. As I said, if I put in a comma just so that you can see the difference between the two of those. So again, let's make sure that I spell premium, everything correctly. Premium. Move that to 4 nights. And you can see that it calculates £320. So can you see that there's like a space in between it? As I said, completely personal preference. It's up to you whether you do that. But anyway, there is a program which I think, you learn a load of different skills in there, loads of theory questions in there, and hopefully not in too long a period of time. Please make sure, if you want more free content, please remember to subscribe. Check out my website if you need some more free content. But thank you very much for listening.